welcome to my kitchen, and we're ready to go ahead and jar up and can our peach butter. And this isn't going to be a really long video, but I do still need to go over all of the basics with you in case you're new to canning. And then I'm going to ask you to do a little research and go back and see some other videos that I've done that are a little bit lengthier to teach you the very basics of canning. In fact, I have a basic canning overview for equipment that you should go ahead and refer to. I'll put a link to that video below. It is almost a half an hour long, but there's not one thing that I say in there that isn't important to learn if you're venturing into canning. So what I have here is my water bath canner, and I have it filled halfway, almost a little, well, it was filled halfway until I put the jars down in there. With water, I'm bringing that to a simmer, and I have 1 dozen half-pint jars that have been previously washed in hot soapy water, rinsed well, and you're going to want to make sure you go over the edges of each one of those jars to make sure there are no chips in them. And then I'm going to put the lid back on here. Always boil your water with the lid on. The rack you want to always make sure that you have a rack in your pot. If you don't have a canning rack like this one comes up like that and it will hold it there. If you don't have one of those racks, you can get one very cheaply at the big box store, but make sure you try and find one that's stainless steel. That's actually a little bit more pricey, but the aluminum ones, they don't last more than a season and they're a waste of money in my opinion. You can also get a large canner pot. You don't have to get one like mine. Mine was an investment. You can get one for about $20. It comes with a rack. And then you never want to put your jars on the very bottom of this canner unless you have a rack on it. Otherwise you run the risk of your jars cracking. Put the lid back on. Lids and rings I have in this pot here, just covered with water. We're going to bring that to a simmer and then we're going to shut it off. You never want to boil your lids because you run the risk of those buckling and then not sealing properly. So put the lid on that. And I will just put this over medium heat and we'll let that simmer. Pardon me, I didn't show you, but I did wipe the top of this jar. You always want to make sure you wipe the rim of your jar with a damp paper towel, and you want to make sure that's a clean spot on that paper towel. And then you're going to put your hot ring and your hot lid on there. And finger tight, do not over tighten it. I'm going to grab my jar lifter and I'm going to put this in the basket right here. And we'll see if we can get 2 more jars of apple butter and then we'll have a full flat or a dozen jars. Before I came on with you, I took the water out of these because it would be easier. We'll go ahead and fill these up. I may only get 1 more jar, but let's see.
The same dish for breakfast.
I probably would have gotten 2 more jars except we ate it. Okay, now that's too full, so you're going to want to take some out and always have a spoon at the ready and just take a couple of spoonfuls out of there. You're probably, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm kind of cramped in my kitchen, so it's kind of difficult to give you a good complete overview because I don't have a kitchen that's really conducive to filming. Okay, hot ring, hot lid, wipe off the rim, finger tight into the canner. And it looks like we've got, I don't know, I'll try and fill this one up. I don't know if I'll make it. So.
I have 1 more.
I
might have 1 more here.
You might? Alright, let's see. Oh, the phone. Let's see. Get another. That might be enough. Let's see. Almost.
Just made it.
Indeed, I did. Every last bit of goodness comes out of that crock pot there. Okay. Wipe this rim We'll go around that one another time here. All right. So we got 12 jars out of this one recipe. Jar lifters. All right. Into the canner it goes. There we go. All right, now I'm going to turn my water up just a little bit. I'm going to lower these down into the water. These, once the water comes to a boil, we're going to process them for 10 minutes. And then we're going to turn the heat off and let the water subside for 5 minutes. And then we'll come back and we'll take them out of the canner and we'll show you what they look like. These processed for 10 minutes in boiling water. Make sure that you let it boil for a few minutes before you start your timer, because sometimes that's not really the water boiling, it's air escaping from the jars. We let it process for 10 minutes. We let it sit for 5 after we turned it off after 10 minutes. And now we're removing it from the canner. And I'm putting it over here on a baking sheet that I've lined with a ShamWow, or a dish towel, or a pillowcase, or a bath towel or something. But you don't want to put it on the cold baking sheet because your jars could crack from shock. And some people will tell you not to tip your jars, but I've never ever had a problem. I always tip my jars. I always tip the extra water off the top. That's a personal choice. There's probably, you know, some reason, but I've never had a problem with my jars not sealing from tipping the water off the top of the jar. So they're going to sit on this tray until, there you go. There's that magic sound. We love that sound. That means your jars have sealed. You're going to want to let them sit and cool completely, at least 24 hours. Then you're going to want to come back and check the seals by taking the rings off and picking up the jar only by the lid. If the lid does not come off, you have a viable seal. You can wash, label, and put your jars up and away in a cool, dry place. And these will last at least 1 year if they aren't consumed in that time. These are probably going to be eaten pretty fast in my house, to be honestly true with you. I'll probably make more. I'm going to be making pumpkin butter next, and then we'll be canning that. Did you see it?
Got that one.
Awesome. So that is how you can peach butter or apple butter or any kind of butter. This is really pretty much the same process for canning any kind of jam or jelly. I would recommend that you refer to the Ball Complete Book of Canning or the Ball Blue Book of Canning if you want more information or recipes on any other type of preserving or canning. So I hope that you try it. I hope that you love it. I hope that this helps if you're new to canning and you're just trying to get your feet wet. And until next time, I'll see ya.